Hey, this is Jason with 4W Knives. I've got a project. I am going to attempt some Raindrop Damascus. So I already have this billet. It is 5/16 thick, I think by 1.5 inches wide and about 4.5 inches long. And I am going to drill holes in it. The idea of Raindrop is that you drill through the different layers and then you press it, or in my case, I'm going to roll it, and it presses or fills those holes with other types of steel, which gives it a unique look when you etch it. This is the first time I've done it, and I'm kind of experimenting. I've put a bunch of little holes. Usually when I've seen it, it's bigger holes, but I've done a bunch of little ones because I'm going to roll it, and I think it may stretch those holes out. Again, I don't know. I wasn't sure how deep to put it. And if I'm going to make a mistake, I'm going to err on the side of not putting them deep enough. Too deep, I ruin it. Not deep enough, I can make that work. After I heat it up, I'm going to run in the roller mill, and I do about 6 different sessions on this to thin it out. I noticed the holes aren't quite filling up like what I'd hoped, so I decided to hand forge it from this point out. I cut off the tip because I'm lazy, and then I start working it in. And my goal at this point is to get the entire billet the same width, which is going to be around 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches. I do this the whole length of it. There's not going to be a lot of shaping on the handle on this, so most of it is just going to be getting the blade shape and then hammering in the bevels. As I do this, it's thickening it up again, and it's filling in a few of those holes that I drilled. So I'm hoping whenever I get it to the grinder, I don't have to take off a lot of the outer layers and waste so much steel. I think at this point I'm switched it around. Yeah, I'm doing the bevels here, and I've done the way that most bladesmiths do it. You start on what looks like on the opposite side, and it curves it back to the tip naturally, and then it's just a little bit of shaping after that, and then I'm going to do most of the shaping on the grinder. All right, since I did most of the work on the anvil, I didn't have to do a whole lot of shaping on the 2x72, and I did not have to do a lot of work on grinding in the bevels. It was just pretty much cleaning it up. After I get all of this cleaned up, I will do my thermal cycle, 3 sets on that, and then I will quench it in vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is not the best quench agent, but I've had good success with it. I know a lot of the pros say you need to use Parks 50 or AAA or something like that, but it's worked for me, and I've got it. So do the quench, do the temper, and then I go back to the 2x72 and do all my cleanup work, getting the bevels thinned, making sure they're even, and try to get it to the highest grit I can on the belt grinder. All right, got it out of temper, and I think it's looking pretty good. I can see some of the raindrop patterns in there. This side's a little better than the other. So I'm excited going forward. I think I may get lucky and nail this. I feel like I know how to do most of these processes, but until you actually do it and actually physically yourself do something, you just never really know. So hopefully I don't grind through the pattern or anything like that, and I'll get it cleaned up on the 2x72 and do some etching, and then I'll pick out a handle material. I'll just show a little bit of each of these processes. after rough fit and glue up, I go back to the 2x72. I have to use my 2x72 that I made out of the pitching machine because it's got some speed control. This acrylic does not like it whenever you go fast with a grinder. It balls up, it messes up. So I go through all my progression using the small wheel, the flat platen, and then the 10-inch wheel to clean up the spine and put the little contour. I don't do a lot of contouring on this because thinner scales, but I did put it to where it was going to be comfortable in the hand. All right, and here it is after a whole bunch of hand sanding and some buffing. I thought the pattern turned out great, exactly how I had hoped. Scales turned out really good outside of this one little spot. I didn't notice it, but it had a flaw in the scale itself. But once I had it glued up, I just figured it's going to have to be part of the character of the knife. I'm very pleased. I'm thankful that I was able to get this finished, and it turned out so well. I plan on doing a lot more of this in the future. And I would greatly appreciate it if you enjoy my videos to go subscribe, give this one a like if you like the product that I put out. It just helps the channel, and I would love to get up to that 1,000 subscriber list. Just one of my little goals that I've set. But whether you do or don't, I do appreciate you watching, and have a good one.